in effect, like I said in that description. Uh, if you haven't seen my two reviews that I did, check them out. Let me know what you think about the reviews that I did. One's about the movie Desperation. The other was just saying support your friend and family and whoever it may be. Some real, you know, advice, some real talk. You know what I mean? Just keeping it real with you. You keep it real with me, I'm gonna keep it real with you. You know what I mean? Shit like that. My KJ notes. If you haven't seen that destination review, it's on the channel. Go check it out. I thought it was a very dull, very boring a movie. Weird. Not a lot of things happen. Not a lot of shit happened in it. So, therefore, it was just, a cookie cutter, you know, one hit wonder. Not even that, but just a dull time waster, a boring film. Is what it was. That's the point I'm trying to make. It was like, of course, for it being a TV movie, the swearing was bleeped out because, you know, they didn't allow that to be heard on TV. They had to bleep it out or make it clean. It was more clean language for a 16-year-old film to be more in depth with the film. That's how they wanted it to be clean, you know, the production companies and all that. The dialogue was childlike dialogue. That's what it was. It was childlike dialogue for like kids. I wouldn't per se the movie was adult like language or anything like that. Stuff that was used and said definitely wasn't adult like. I mean kid like. It was definitely kid like. Wasn't adult like. So yeah, I was right when I said that. Because you got stuff like flipping, you heard stuff like flipping, you overused, oversized, whatever, blase, whatever you like to say. In this movie, there wasn't really any profanity, but another part could be the Christianity roots, the Catholic roots that this film has. This I do respect that, being a Christian. A lot of the movies I've seen were Christian, were, well, not a lot, well, majority. Like The Unholy, that was pretty good. Hell of a lot better. Um, what's that one Christian movie a while back I just seen? There was just one other Christian movie like months back that I seen for the first time, and it was good. See, those were done well. Those were executed well. I'm a huge Stephen King fan. Don't get me wrong, but Desperation was a pile of dog doo doo wrapped in a ball that you could just throw at a wall. That's what that was. It was a time waster or boring, put me to sleep, sleep inducing movie. That's how I felt. It was sleep inducing. I was sitting here waiting for something big to happen. Meanwhile, the movie was sending me to sleep. Like, that movie was calling my name. Didn't you see, like, the devil represented in the film, which the makeup, the look, it was retarded. The look of it was just not that good. I'm just being completely transparent. The look of the Hellraiser cast member, the alumni, his makeup, the effects, whatever. You could tell these effects were low budget. Like, that's the first thing you will notice. The effects or low budget effects. Because it was a made for TV movie. So, when they do them made for TV movies, they don't put their all into it. They only give you half of what they want when it's a made for TV film, basically. When they should, you know, just because it's made for TV, they should make it just as decent or try to make it match, uh, like, casual horror film, you know? Doesn't have to be that way, but certain people, they just choose to make certain movies how they best fit. And Desperation, that's probably one of the weakest on in Stephen King's catalog for me to be at least. I mean, for me to be 100% transparent. I've seen better movies than this from him, so it's like, yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Desperation. I wasn't a big fan of other movies such as The Expendables 3, but they're coming out with a new one on September 29th that I'll give a chance. I look forward to seeing what they do with it, or they take that. Because the third movie was awful. I was sitting there thinking we'd get some good stuff, but it was just the time waster. The first one was great. The First Blood was terrible, awful, god awful. But yeah, um, I can't wait till the Expendables 4 comes out. I look hella forward to it. And he's coming out with a new cliffhanger to Sly, which, well, I don't think he'll be in it. Maybe, who knows? Nah, I think they'll have different cast members. Believe so in it. If that's the case, I won't be watching it. If Sylvester Stallone is not in it, I won't be watching this new version of Cliffhanger one bit, because Sly is what made that movie, without Sly in it. It never feels the same. That void will be like, the void will be missing. I mean, sometimes I guess that can work. Pulling out with a new cast and cast of characters, sometimes it could work if used effectively and done effectively. But 9 times out of 10, I'm sure that never feels the same for those people who aren't used to it, and just overall feeling and environment, and you know the feeling of change, and the feeling of no familiarity within the film. Like, that's the part that would be lacking for a lot of people, I'm sure. that part. Like the fact that it's a classic to a lot of people, and the guy who was in the original is not done. I mean, not gonna be in it, and the fact and how they got a whole new cast of characters. I've said this about subspecies. If they would have done that with subspecies, so this is kind of the same thing. It doesn't feel right to have a different cast if you could just take the original cast that you've had all along. This is how story developments, characters, and all that works. I'm smarter than a lot of people know. So take the same cast of characters, figure out something interesting to do with them within the remake. You know, it's not hard. You just gotta use your brain, put two and two together, and see what you can do. But they probably didn't want to do it. They probably had other obligations, probably other movies coming at them, probably have other offers coming at them. So that can be very, 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 very time consuming for a lot of actors, you know, with other projects that they've got, you know. It is what it is, though. If Sly isn't in it, I don't want to watch it, though. I won't be watching New Cliffhanger. Because the original is always the best. Always. Except for a few, there are a few exceptions that I have, and that's that. Unless it's a Blob remake or anything good to a remake that was done well and executed well and showcased well, yeah, of course I'm gonna think that's great. But other than that, something like that shouldn't be touched. Like Hollywood, it's a bad idea. My boy Rambo Ralph went over the cast. He wasn't impressed about like the new Cliffhanger film, and I can see why, because without Sly, this is gonna completely backfire. May not, never know, but that's what I think. Because the classics can't be replicated. That's the word. You can't replicate certain films. You can't redo what has already worked. In my honest opinion, like if it's working, don't fix what works. Basically, is what I'm saying. You don't gotta fix what works. Like, leave it. Hollywood doesn't know how to do that. That's the thing. Leave it alone. You know what I mean? That's like, what can I say that's been ran to the rug with filming? Huh. What have they done constantly and ran it to the ground? As far as filming movies go, hmm. Uh, that's like, uh, that's like fucking. Uh, that's like Halloween, right? Halloween 5. It wasn't that good. You know why? Because it had certain different cast of characters, certain actors or actresses didn't have what it took, which made it awful. Danielle, what's her name? She was awful. Her acting was, some of the other cast members. It was awful. That's why I say that movie's one of the worst for that time. The fifth one, because of how the cast members are. You know what I mean? Not that good. I've never gone back and watched Halloween 5. I've always watched the original most of the time, you know what I mean? And I haven't even watched that in a while. Or the Rob Zombie one, I haven't watched that in a while. TBH. I can't honestly remember the last time I've seen those films because it's been that long, quite honestly. I haven't, sat down in a minute to go and watch a Halloween movie and stuff like that. The last one was Halloween Ends, and I was like 2 years ago already. It feels like since that movie came out or whatever. That was the last time I could say I watched that type of film 2 years ago. My KJ and Noits. It's not really nobody in the chat room, my description really saying much, but I understand. I guess people were busy and living life and shit like that, doing stuff in life. Who knows? I don't know. Probably having your morning coffee, having your morning cereal or whatever. Shit like that. Who knows? Living life, video gaming, listen to music. Probably something like Metallica or whatever. I'm just guessing. I don't know. I love them. That's like one of my favorite bands. Songs like For Whom the Bell Tolls. What else? Justice is Lost. Justice is Great. Justice for All. It's a great song. Album, great album. That's a good song. A few other songs by them, right? I'd like to go see a Metallica concert one day and get a poster, get an autograph, freaking CDs, you name it. I'd really love to get that. Can't even lie to you. They're one of my favorite rock bands of 30 years, you know. I haven't listened to them that long because I ain't been around for 30 years, but I just love their music. Besides, like, groups like 3 Days Grace, Avalanche, Wake Me Up Inside, um, Green Day. Did I say 3 Days Grace? 3 Days Grace, um, stuff like that. That's the type of rock music I like, basically. Because they're decent bands. They're top tier bands, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm about to hop off this live here in a minute. Love you guys. Peace.